Jai Hind and welcome to the next lecture. So, the topic that we are going to be dealing today is handling audience interactions and answering questions as well as managing feedbacks well. So, this is something very crucial which most of the working professionals have to face in their daily work situations. So, moving on. So, first is the introduction, the purpose of the lecture, why it's there. As I just mentioned while we were reading about the topic, that this is something that people who are working professionals with us, they deal with these situations on a daily basis when they go out for work. So, the goal of this session is to help you handle the audience interactions confidently. I'm sure you do that, but to give you an insight how to make it even much more easier for you. So, handle it confidently while especially you are answering the questions and managing the feedback which the client is giving to you. So, these are some skills which are essential for any advanced English speaker, and particularly in your professional, academic, or public speaking context. So, these are the skills which one has to master when you are, whether a working professional, whether you're dealing with academics at the moment, or you are basically a public speaker who likes to give speeches or who wants to deliver discussions and debates, wants to take part in any of those on a public platform. So, having these kind of audience interactions, handling them well is important. So, engaging with your audience through questions and feedback is the best way. It gives you an opportunity to build a connect, a rapport with your audience. It also gives you and also your audience clarity of their ideas also come to you when they give you a feedback, and it reinforces your message onto them that this is what you wanted to convey. It shows that you are receptive, open, and the entire idea behind this exercise is that you are wanting to foster a positive relationship with your audience. So, preparing for the audience interaction, how do we do it? Very, very important, and we do it if we go for work, we do it every single day. So, are we doing it correct? Is what we need to recheck now. So, anticipate the possible questions. So, when you know that you are going to be interacting with your audience today and what content you have delivered or what promises you've made, what talks you've already had with them. So, you should know beforehand that what can be the questions or the queries which can arise around those conversations. So, you should be more or less mentally prepared to handle those queries well and precisely. Then know your material. Just don't talk vague just because you know about that content. Don't talk vague. Nobody has time to waste. So talk with proper facts in hand with confidence so that the audience feel that yes, you are well versed with whatever you are discussing with them or you're wanting to put on the table across to them. Create comfort. Now, very, very important, if you look rattled, it is impossible for you to build that good rapport with your client. So, create that atmosphere of comfort yourself. You should be comfortable in handling this kind of a situation. Encourage questions. Just don't get scared or intimidated with the idea that what if they ask me this, what will I do? So, that's where you preparations about this comes into play. So, welcome the questions and just don't look too stressed about it. Okay, so handle the questions with a welcoming phrase, look comfortable, create ease and comfort, and the atmosphere should be encouraging for both the parties. So, anticipate possible questions as what we were discussing earlier. So, prepare for the questions that might arise considering what was the key takeaways of your presentation. Okay, anticipate. When you anticipate these questions, already when you are aware that these might arise, what will happen? You are well prepared about handling those. Then when you are well prepared, what? It will help you develop better confidence to answer them because you already know that these might arise. So you're mentally prepared to handle them. And then when you're mentally prepared, it is impossible for you to get, caught in a situation where you were unaware or you were caught off guard. So you are mentally prepared, you are in a better and a stronger position to take the queries head on. Then, if you are discussing business trends with your clients in a presentation, then you must be ready for having to deal with the questions about a specific data or future predictions about what you were presenting to them while you were doing your presentation. Confidence in answering the questions come just not from vague knowledge. No, you need to have a solid, a good understanding of your topic. If you are yourself not confident with the kind of information to back up your facts, then you will always be on a shaky podium. Once you are on shaky podium, the client or your audience is not a fool. Mind you, they can catch that vibe. They'll know that you're just trying to bluff them. So make sure that when you are answering them, you answer with confidence. And to answer with confidence, it is very important that you know your facts correctly. So make sure that your subject you know inside out very, very well. All the key aspects you are very well about. Nitty-gritties you know very well. So you can respond to any kind of query related to that with ease, confidence, and you can back it up factually. Then create a comfortable environment. As we were mentioning earlier, don't make your audience feel that, oh, the presentation is over, so my work is over. Enough, done. No. Now it is the time for the audience interaction. So make them feel very comfortable in asking questions. This will only give you a feedback, an insight onto what you were wanting to present to them. So it's a very good way of looking in and introspecting that, yes, this is what I tried to deliver. Could I connect well with the audience or not? So encourage feedback, and for that, create comfortable environment. Use phrases for that like, please feel free to ask any questions you may have, or I'll be happy to help. So you can even say, I am happy to clarify anything. So please feel free to reach out to me. So all these are beautiful phrases which open the podium for questioning from the audience side. They can start asking whatever are the doubts in their minds. So when you are answering the questions, make sure that you answer them effectively. It should create an impact, okay? So that they know that you're a credible person, you're a credible source. So listen carefully. To answer well, it is very important to be an active listener. So in the earlier presentation, I had told you the key nitty-gritties that you have to keep in mind to be an active listener. So make sure that you listen carefully to what your audience are asking. Then, before that, understand, and before that, listen. So listen, understand, calculate the answer, and then respond. Then stay composed, very important. Stay relaxed while this QA round is happening. Stay composed, okay? Just don't be jittery, don't let your anxiety show. Stay calm, okay? Admit it's not possible humanly, you're not a computer. So sometimes a few things can go haywire. You must avoid that though. But in case it happens, stay calm still. The world's not ending here. So you can admit the fact that you are kind of unsure and you don't want to provide incorrect information. And you can offer a follow-up to your audience that I'll reconfirm this and get back to you on this, and make sure that you do that. Just don't make a false promise. Structure your answers. Very important. How do you structure your answers? Create an impact on your audience. All right? They would feel connected if you structure your answers well. If they are not structured in a proper format, then it is difficult for the audience to establish that relationship which you are wanting to attain at the end of the session with them. So structure your answers well, restate, answer, and summarize the points which you were making earlier in the presentation. And very important, stay on the topic. If you have taken the topic of communication, make sure it is about communication. It is not about the tires anymore. All right. So make sure that you stay on the topic, address the specific questions asked related to that topic. Now, if you want to ask me something related to today's presentation, I'll be more than happy to answer. But if you ask me something related to physics, it's way beyond my topic of interest. So stay on the topic, ask relative questions the audience would ask. So be prepared to address those. Then we move on to listen carefully. I've just brushed upon it while we were dealing with the previous slide. Listen attentively, and if necessary, ask the person to clarify their query once again. Ask them to restate what they want to ask. This will give you clarity so that you can answer them properly. Could you please elaborate on your question about the data set? This is how you ask. Next, stay calm and composed. Say very, very calm and composed. Whether the question is simple, it is complex, it is challenging, very important for you to maintain your composure. As I just said, world's not ending. So take it slow, stay calm, take your time to answer. If you don't know the answer immediately, again, it's okay. Yeah, you can say that's an excellent question. That's a very nice way of framing it. This shows that you are confident. That's an excellent question. I'll need a moment to think about it. Give me a little time to think about it, please. Or you can say that, let me look into it and I'll get back to you. But do get back. Now we move on to the next one. Structure the answers clearly. So now your answers should also be structured very, very clearly. Provide clear, concise, precise information. It should be a well-organized response. It shouldn't be vague. So restate the question briefly so that the audience can understand that you've understood the question. Then answer directly using examples if possible to elaborate more on that. Then summarize. Summarize your answer so that it invites further questions. In case they have understood and they want to ask something more, they can do that. So the example of all these points can be seen here. It can be the question asked about the impact of digital marketing. In my opinion, it has revolutionized how companies reach customers by using data analytics. In fact, one study showed, now you are quoting the example. So you can say, in fact, one study showed that 60% of the companies reported increased revenue due to targeted campaigns. So now you've also summarized, you've given an example, and you've answered the question directly to the audience. Keep your responses to the topic, as we've already discussed. Avoid going off the topics and don't go on to the tangents which are irrelevant, because it's a total waste of time. Neither do you have extra time on hand, and mind you, your client for sure does not have extra time. So steer clear. Then stick to only professional questions. Only the questions which are related to that topic, and handle them very professionally. There's no need to go over emotional or get over involved in it. Make sure your response is relevant to the discussion which is going on. So handling the difficult or challenging questions is where the whole game lies. This is where your finesse lies. So what do? You stay calm. Maintain professionalism. All right. We've already discussed this twice in the presentation. Is just a brushing up. Be honest. You don't know, you don't know. You can always get back to them with the precise information. Then you can also offer them solutions. If you don't know it at the moment, that doesn't mean you'll never know. So what you can do, you can offer them for a follow-up later and provide, or you can even give them a partial answer that as per me, this is what it is, but I'll give you a more precise answer. Give me a little time. And then you can also redirect the question constructively. Okay, that's where the finesse lies. So the example can be, you can agree to the client that it's a tough question, so that the client knows that you know that it's an important question and you need to give him more information on that. So you can rephrase the whole thing and put it across very smartly on the table by saying, that's a tough question and I don't have the data with me right now, but I can follow up with the correct information after this session. Moving forward, managing feedbacks, very important. We've delivered what we wanted to. Now it is the time to get the feedback from the client. So you have to be open to the feedback, accept the positive feedback, handle negative feedback. That's the most important thing. How do we handle it? Well, be open, avoid being defensive, clarify the misunderstandings if they crop up, and redirect criticism in a very professional manner. We are going to take up each one of these now. So, whenever there is a positive feedback, you can always say, thank you, I am glad you found the information helpful. Very happy that the clients were happy with whatever information you passed on to them. Now, when you are having a negative or a constructive feedback, that's what we say. We don't say a negative feedback. We say a constructive feedback because it gives you a base to improvise on. So, a negative feedback should be seen as an opportunity for growth where you can fine-tune yourself, remain open, listen carefully, and show appreciation for the feedback that somebody's taken pain and time to show you this is how the reality is. So you have to fine-tune yourself for your betterment, for the betterment of your organization. So, and show appreciation for the feedback. Avoid getting defensive. Don't go into this defensive mode. No, it is not like this. What I meant was this. No, take it gracefully, professionally. So the example can be, thank you for your feedback. Though it's a constructive feedback, though it's not a positive feedback, you can say, I will certainly take into account and work to improve. Now, what you're doing, you're leaving your client at a positive note. He knows that you are not offended, you've not felt defensive or acted defensive, even though the feedback was not a positive one given by him. So, he'll come back to you, because that connect has been established with your fine attitude or professional attitude, what you have showcased. Clarifying misunderstanding. So, if a feedback that indicates that something is unclear, okay, someone is saying, oh, I'm very unsure about what you had told, it's not very clear a point. So, take time to clarify. Give them time to make them aware and make the things clear to them. It shows that you care about your audience understanding and you want to provide more strength to your communication. So, be that person who is ready to give time to clarify, to do the doubt clearing for your audience. So, I see some of you might have found the concept of data analysis a little difficult to follow. Let me break it down more simply for you. So, you've gauged that there was some confusion, lack of clarity there. So, I am redoing it for your better clarity or for your good. So, this will help bring in more clarity, clear of the misunderstandings. So, managing the feedback and redirecting negative feedback, very, very important part of managing the feedback. So, sometimes it can be really critical, okay? Some people, some feedbacks can be such where it's really not very constructive. It can be overly critical. So now how do you handle those? So politely redirect it by focusing on solutions. So your focus should be not on what's been said. You should focus on finding a solution of that critical feedback which is given to you, or offering further assistance. You have to find a solution for that. Okay, and you must also extend an assistance to help it out with your audience. So make sure that you provide that helping hand to solve that crucial moment with your audience. So the example can be, I appreciate your feedback, but let's look at it from a solution-oriented perspective. Now, what is this? You are offering them that you can provide assistance and help to find a solution for what they feel is just not right at the moment. So, from a solution-oriented perspective, what can I do to clarify this issue, please let me know. So that's a very nice and a polite and yet a very firm and a professional way of dealing with a negative feedback. Engaging the audience during Q&A rounds, very, very effective. Use open-ended prompts so that people can interpret it as per their own prescription, as per their own thinking, and they can come up and take part. Create dialogue, make the session, there should be conversation happening. It shouldn't be one-way traffic, okay? So, make the session conversational. There should be the engagement between the speaker and the audience. And then you can always club similar sounding questions and answer them effectively together only, rather than again and again answering the same question. So we move on, and briefly I'm going to elaborate on these. Engage in the audience by asking open-ended questions, requesting for their opinions. This will keep the interactions alive. This will help them participate more, and also it will help deepen the discussions. Then creating a two-way dialogue, keeping the conversations alive is very, very important. Aim for a conversational tone. Your tone should not be a commanding tone. It should be a conversational tone which encourages one-on-one opinion exchange. Okay, respond to each question which is asked thoughtfully. Think and then answer, because you've got a responsibility as a speaker to present or to iron out the doubts of your audience. So don't be vague, be precise, to the point. Encourage follow-up questions. And then the one example can be, that's an interesting point. Do you think it could also impact small businesses in the same way? So you are also asking them their opinion that, okay, fine, you said this, that's very, very interesting. But do you think it's going to happen like this? So you're sparking more conversation. So when you have multiple people asking the same question time and again, group that question together and answer it for the good of the audience once and for all. Then you can take the questions from the audience, put them on the list, attend to the important ones in the beginning, so that the ones on the list are the questions which are of prime importance, and then group up the similar sounding ones and attend to all the queries. Very important. Don't leave any question thinking that, oh, it really doesn't hold any good in my eyes. For you, it not be a worthwhile thing, but for your audience, it may mean a great deal. So don't ignore any question that comes your way. I received a few questions about data privacy. Let me address those first. So you are telling your audience that I'm going to come back to each and every question that you've come prepared to ask me. But let me first answer these, and then I'm going to answer all the other questions. Closing the interaction is also very important. Don't end it abruptly. It should happen in a very systematic manner. Summarize the key points. Okay. Then reinforce the main ideas. Thank the audience that they took out time to be with you. Also for the participation that they had extended. Invite for further interactions. If possible, you can ask them to come up for future workshops or offer follow-up opportunities. So, summarize. How do we do it? When you summarize the key takeaways, then what happens? This reinforces your message with clarity to your audience, and all the remaining doubts are well taken care of. Then you thank your audience, acknowledge their contribution in making your presentation a success. So contribution, and also when you thank them, you foster goodwill and encourage future interactions. You open the doors for them to stay connected with you on this topic in future as well. So you can simply say, thank you all for your insightful questions and feedback. I hope this session has been helpful. So when you're closing the interaction, the last one is encourage future interactions or further interactions. So if it is appropriate for your company and for you, then you can invite your audience to continue with the conversations after the session or via the mail. Okay, the example is, feel free to reach out to me with any further questions after this session. And then you can provide your email. These days, a lot of people work from home. You can provide your WhatsApp details so people can reach out to you. Be in their reach, so that if they want, they can reach out and your future contacts are made. So the conclusion and the recap now. Interaction skills improve with practice, so it's very, very important. Remain very calm, poised and thoroughly prepared throughout the session where you are dealing with feedbacks. Be calm, be prepared, confidently be there to handle the feedback. By employing strategic approaches for addressing questions and handling the responses better, you can foster a more dynamic, productive, and enriching experience for your audience, which will ensure that you have a meaningful engagement and impactful communication. It will also open the gateway for future contracts and also future engagements. Keep participating to master audience engagement, as this will ensure that your confidence in handling interaction grows rapidly with time. So practice here also is the key element which will take this skill of managing the feedback better to the next or the elevated level. We now move on to the vocabulary words. The first word on the list is elucidate. So it means to make something clear by explaining it in detail. If the audience appears confused, it's essential to elucidate your point further. Next is navigate. Navigate is a word which I use pretty frequently. So it is to skillfully manage or find a way through a complex or challenging situations. So the usage in context to what topic we've taken up today can be: effective speakers know how to navigate difficult questions with fact and professionalism. This is what we have discussed today. The third word on my list is mitigate. Mitigate means to make a situation or a problem less severe or serious. So you can say he used humor to mitigate the tension caused by a controversial question or by a not so positive feedback. So until we meet the next time, thank you very much. I am looking forward for you to practice the skills which we are trying to deliver to you through these lectures. Until we meet the next time, thank you very much and Jai Hind.